Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to JK'z Rewatchable Hour. I'm your host tonight. I'm joined by Jackie Lynch. How you doing, Jackie?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I'm I'm also joined by Jennifer Welch. How you doing, Jennifer?
Pretty good. How are you?
And we're supposed to be joined by Jeff, but I don't see where Jeff is. What's going on here?
I don't know.
Um, I don't know.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
was in there.
Yeah. Hey Jennifer, why don't you go check and see what's going on?
Okay.
See what's going on.
Well, that's strange. He was
Yeah.
just there.
All right.
Ooh.
I don't know what's going on, but where have you been? We've
There
been
you are.
recording for like a minute.
I've been sitting here. I felt like you couldn't hear me.
Yeah. I we don't. You weren't there. It definitely wasn't you that was there. All right.
Definitely was
Whatever.
not.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can.
Somebody more pasty.
Yeah. You were looking pretty pale over there.
Bony.
Not tan and tasty.
All right, whatever. Let's get going with today's show. Tonight we're doing we've all researched and we're gonna give facts and different details about haunted places in America. Anyone want to start? Hey, Jeff, maybe since you were late getting here, maybe you should start.
I've been here the whole time. Like, can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
We
Okay.
can hear you now.
So, I know this might shock you guys. I actually did a research on one. I know. Jackie, don't give me that look. Jackie, don't do that. My wife is terrified. Um, so I looked up some haunted places. That's what we're doing. I came across St. Augustine Lighthouse in obviously Florida. So this lighthouse is 164 feet tall. You will never catch me up there unless I'm inside. I'll never go outside. But anyways, it was built back in the 1500s. This is one of the things that really interested me in this because of when it was built. So when I was reading it, it sounded pretty eerie. Like so, it's twisted black and white striped base, which is a blood red crown at the top. So it already looks ominous, in my opinion. So as I went to read on more, people have said that they can smell a sweet cigar, freshly lit cigar of cherry tobacco. Now, I'm not a smoker, let alone cigar, but I know that you just don't smell cherry tobacco anywheres. And according to the rumors, an individual who died, I couldn't find the name, he used to smoke a cigar that was of obviously of cherry flavor. So I don't know. It's also been said that this is kind of sad. Little girls, you can hear them laughing at the top, and they're running around, and but they were sisters and they died back in that day. They had rail cars that went on the railroad on the rail, and they died. So they hear them laughing and running around, which would probably freak the shit out of me because I don't like that stuff. So, um, on top of that, it's also been said that if you go to the top, go outside, you can see a woman holding onto the railing. I'm going to assume kind of like this on the other side, and then she just disappears. I went on to research about that, but I couldn't find any more if somebody had falling off or committed suicide or something like that. So I think that would be pretty freaky to go out and see somebody, and then all of a sudden you look and that person's not there. Obviously there are spirits in this place. The sisters who died, I'm gonna probably butcher their last name, but it's pronounced Petiti. They died. They were sisters. They they you can see them every now and again in blue dresses running around. that's going by the rumors that I had researched. And as typical with any type of haunted place, there's moving objects, chairs get moved around. The gift shop, there are little trinkets, there are little things that are noticeable that they are moved where they should not be. So I'm assuming that the two little girls are just having fun. But so yeah, obviously when they lock up at night, they close all the doors, and it's said that when they come in, all the doors are open. So, which leads me to actually, before I go to that part, there's also signs that it just says a tall man, like a silhouette, that I'm going to assume was the former groundskeeper hundreds of years ago. So, back in that day, maybe they didn't close the door. So, maybe this spirit decided, hey, we're going to leave the door open. So, and then one of the last things is, they say that on these tours, certain people will feel a cold hand tug on their arm or their shirt. So that would probably make me just like stop the tour right there. And then the last thing I had about this, out of all the research, was the tall man that was in the basement. It's like they say that you see him, then like as soon as you blink, it's like he's gone. Like he just evaporates, almost like it's like a silhouette. And we've all seen it in the movies and the TV. He just kind of evaporates out of there. And people have said that once that happens, you get a cold feeling, a cold chill. So obviously the lighthouse is right next to water, so that could be wind coming in. But I found it very, very interesting. I don't know. I think I would actually want to do the tour, but not unless there was somebody on the side of me, behind me, or in front of me, because I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's sad that some little kids died, but they're just having fun there. They haven't crossed over the other side. So, and I think 164-foot tall lighthouse is pretty tall up there. So I bet you that'd be a sight to see.
Yeah. I noticed in your story, as well as just about anything I've ever seen, the cold chill. That seems always like a common thing is the cold feeling, the cold chill, cold spots I've heard of and different things. But yeah, it was interesting. I had seen something on it, but I'd never really researched it or anything about that particular site.
Can you guys imagine just walking outside? You feel like a cold hand, like tug at your shirt or grab a hold of your hand, and you turn and there's really nothing there. Now, I mean, I was trying to look for pictures of the tour itself. I wanted to see if it was dimly lit or if it was like really lit up, because I mean, I would probably be really scared, but I think it'd be pretty cool to experience something like that. And then obviously, with all my head injuries, I'd be telling you guys that, because you would be all there with me. I'd be like, hey, did you see that guy? And you guys like, what guy? Like, yep, there we go. But that's what I was thinking about researching. And if we all went through something like that, I think it would be really, really cool. And yeah. If we all took a bet who would scream like a girl first, it'd probably be me, but that's okay though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a skeptic, but until I see it, I always have a hard time believing some of the stories that I've seen, that I've heard. I have to experience it.
I agree.
Yeah. I've never really had my own experience with anything that I don't know. I probably have had things where I couldn't explain, but nothing that I assumed was a spirit or paranormal, or not personally anyway.
Right on. I agree with that.
So, yeah.
I mean, we've all had the same story as I've just said, but I would have to experience it
right.
I mean, I think all doing a tour and some little cold hand grabs a hold of me. I think, okay, yeah, I believe I'm out.
Yeah, I don't want to say that none of them are true, but at the same time, I have to see it. I guess, seeing is believing, So for me anyway.
So I want to add to that. So I grew up, watching a lot of, scary movies. I do believe in evil versus good, and I
Yeah.
do believe in ghosts. And people have told me their stories, but me having believed and watching these scary movies all my life, I have never experienced anything for myself. But, you know, as a kid, I spent a lot of time at home by myself. So at night, I would watch these scary things on the TV and it's now dark outside. Would I just walk up the stairs to my bedroom? Nope. I'm running up those stairs. I'm covering my head. I am waiting for some steps to come up for hearing the boom, boom, boom. None of that. So, I did want to go to like a sanatorium or like a, Willard. I did do Willard, but it was during the day, just to see, but I would probably just freak myself out. I would be probably
Yeah.
like Jeff and just scream like a little bee and
That's-
just run. But
Yeah,
so there's my little.
the thing about Willard Psych Center and I've been in there, is the tunnel.
Yep.
Have you ever been through the tunnel?
I don't
Yep.
know. I mean, I did
There's
that
an
tour when they
there's an
opened it up.
underground tunnel that connects the buildings.
From
Oh.
Birch to
I don't think they took us
All the
there.
way down to what's the one by Hatch? Is that the one by the lake?
Hadley Hall and Hatch.
Headley Hall. Yeah, it goes between the two.
and if I
Yeah.
remember, they had the old lights on the wall that
Yeah.
and-
It's. I mean, I'm not saying I experienced anything when I went through it, but it was, it was pretty creepy. Just, I mean,
Mhm.
like it hadn't been, like they hadn't really painted the walls in probably 50 years or something, and it
Mhm.
was the walls, the paint had peeled, and I mean, it's an underground hallway that not everybody uses. But for a short time through, I think it was JTPA, I worked as a cleaner during the summer program, and we used to walk from one to the other. I can't say her name on here, but I could tell you, who trained me and whatnot. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. I mean, she drove bus for a while as well. Um, not for very long, I don't think. I only think she did that for a little while, but she trained me, and we had to walk through the tunnel because our station was at one end, but we went and we cleaned the other building at the other end. So rather than they have their own cleaning room, apparently in the one building, we walked with our cleaning carts all the way down that underground tunnel every day.
It was cool, wasn't it? I mean,
It
my mom.
was, but like I said, it was, it could really get to you because, I mean, there's nothing in there except for, like you said, these dim lit lights. They weren't the greatest lights.
And
Yeah.
for all of our listeners, we're talking about a place in Willard, New York called Willard Psychiatric Center. It's no longer that, but it housed mentally. What's the word I want to use? I don't want to say mentally handicapped. Do you think?
Yeah. They were they're mentally handicapped. Now since the psych center has closed, they have been split up into the homes.
Yep. And
into individual homes. And the ones that were capable of living on their own are either went to living on their own, or maybe in like an assisted living.
Yeah. And the easiest way I can tell our listeners and our viewers who have no idea, if you've ever watched one of the early Halloween when Michael Myers escaped from that type of asylum, that's basically almost like what it reminds me of. And so my mom obviously worked at Willard, as thousands of other people. And one day,
My mom too. Mhm.
what's that? Yeah, and Jen's
My
mom
mom
is.
too. Mhm.
My in-laws started working there. Actually, my wife started working there right before it closed, not long before it closed, but
And so mom took me, I believe it was from Birches. I don't know, I can't remember. But as George had perfectly described, it seemed like the farther you went down this tunnel, the darker it got and the lighter it got less bright. But just before you hand it over to for somebody else, there was another tunnel that back in the day you had to prove you were a man or a woman, and you had to go through what they called the tunnel of hell. I don't know if you guys know where that is. So there used to be an old grocery store in Willard. Jen, do you remember where I'm talking about?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you mean the tunnel under the road?
Yes. And
Yeah.
it led, so I'm not kidding you. It had one of those huge ride bar,
Culver. The Culver pipe.
but there was only about this much space. So you had to prove yourself 10 feet in, it was pitch black. You didn't know if
And
you
so
were
you
stuck.
got so you got like halfway, because like halfway there was a grate
Yep, that you could see in the road.
that you could see a little bit, but not much.
I don't know if you were walking, I'm going to be honest, a body. You don't know if you were walking over an animal or people. And if you turn back, obviously you got ridiculed. I mean, looking back, who cared? But back then, you had to, so you literally walked all, it brought you out down to under everybody's houses out to the lake. So and I did it. And I got to tell you, I think I cried most of the way through it. But yeah, that feet in, it was pitch black. And you're just like, yeah. But go ahead. So, George, thank you for letting me share that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to go next? Jackie, Jennifer.
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
Okay. So I decided to look up and, have more detail on this forest that is alpine. It spans like over 11,000 acres.
Yeah.
But it goes from alpine to Newfield, Hector area. I mean, there's little pieces of it in every neighboring town, it seems like. So it's Connecticut Hill. It's also known as Snyder Hill, I guess, after I've looked up some
I think
facts
certain parts
about
of
it.
it. I think certain parts of it.
Yeah. This place is full of legends and tales and stories from Sasquatch to UFO. There is a cemetery that they call the witch's grave. And then there is a
Small cemetery. It's a small cemetery, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So just some detail about it. I did say it was over 11,000 acres. It's 11,645 acres. And the tallest point in Connecticut Hill is 2,907 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
Another piece to names and legends, besides the cemetery, people have said it's called the Alpine Portal. They lose track of time, I guess, where they thought that they went 30 minutes, but it was really 10 minutes kind of thing. Let's see. So unfortunately, there's a most recent story that happened just 10 days ago, a little over 10 days, 11 days ago. A 36-year-old man went missing from Alpine. He was found deceased. They haven't released his name. So I don't know of any wrongdoings there. They haven't released any details either. Back to that cemetery, I did look up at, from the cemetery, there are 59 people buried there. They had names and everything. So But this witch's grave, the witch's name is what they say, is a witch. Her name is Elizabeth Whitney. She was deceased at 94 years old or unalived. I don't know what we're saying these days. I don't want to, say the wrong thing. But it is located more in Newfield than Alpine, I guess, is what the cemetery. Let's see. Of course, I did say the Bigfoot. So there's been a sighting on Bigfoot that these guys were hunting back in 2013, and they literally dropped all of their, guns and all of their equipment, because they saw this 9 foot, broad-shouldered, black-haired being that it freaked them out so much they dropped everything and ran. Of course, they went later and got their stuff, but it freaked them out. But that was off of a YouTube. So I'll say at the end where I got some of my information. I don't want to take other people's information and make it my own. But I do want to tell you about a story. I reached out to a couple people off of Facebook because they had posted about Connecticut Hill. The pair of guys that I was talking about that's doing a documentary, their names are Alex Fawcett and Rob White. And they had made a post about a year ago to say that they were going to do a documentary, and a couple people had made comments on his post. So I just reached out to them by messenger, and I got a hit back like really fast from a young lady. I don't know what her age is, but she had told me what had happened to her. So I'm pretty much just going to tell her story. Her name is Alicia Nelson, and back in August of 2017, and I don't know how many of her friends were with her, but it was at least two, her and somebody else. There may have been 3 of them. So they thought it was a great idea at like 10 o'clock at night to just get into the car and go to Connecticut Hill. Well, once they got there, they spooked themselves out and they decided to get into the car and go back home. Well, don't you know that come midnight, they're like, why not? So they go back to Connecticut Hill. As soon as they get out of the car, they stepped out into the woods and they went right to the grave of Elizabeth Whitney, the witch. Another legend or another tale about the gravesite is that if you touch the grave, you're cursed. Something bad may happen to you. So her friend touched the gravesite. They felt really weird. It was really super cold. Hearing a lot of noises and freaking themselves out as well. So they got back into the car, and this Alicia had actually taken, I want to back up a little bit. She took a picture of the grave, sent it to Snapchat, saved it, thinking that she'll just be able to return to the picture and see what she was able to take, or what appeared on the picture. I don't know if you guys know that some of their paranormal people, they'll take photographs and then later when they get developed, they'll show orbs and stuff like that. So she actually saved the Snapchat picture of the grave. And when they got into the car, her phone died. So she sat her phone on her lap. She had her seatbelt on, and the one driving, I don't know what happened, but the car was drifting off the side of the road, and they ended up rolling the car 3 times. She had to crawl, they all had to crawl out of the car. She said she lost a headband, a necklace, her phone, and 1 flip-flop. And there they are, just walking back to their home, and a car approaches them. And they ask the car for help, and they're like, no way. So the car keeps going, but then they must have seen obviously that the car had rolled over. So they ended up calling 911 and they got them the help. Her dad went back to the scene the next day and found everything but the phone. And their friend that touched the grave with the hand that she used to touch the grave actually had this huge, deep, um, wound that looked like a claw mark on her hand. And she never recovered her cell phone, but when she logged back into Snapchat, the picture was not there, so that picture disappeared. So there's a couple weird things there. So that was that story. I didn't really go in the order that I was hoping to go because once I start talking, I kind of veered off. But a little bit more history about Connecticut Hill is that it did start out as like some farmland in 1850. And with those that had the farmhouses and all the farmland, the farmland for some reason did not grow what they wanted to grow. They ended up abandoning the homes and the farms. And then it ended up, there was some trading for, I I'm gonna skip over because some of the details on who owned the land prior to the DEC was that some trade-off for the amount that was owed on the taxes for like a portion of what the acreage was kind of thing. So I'm not gonna get into that detail. But what they say about some of the areas is because, of the lost track of time and the Alpine portal is that some of the area is just has a lot of energy, a lot of quartz. So whether that's substantial or not, I'm not sure. So I guess more paranormal people would know more than I about what exactly that means. But if anybody has any questions for me or wants to talk a little bit more about Connecticut Hill. Did anybody know about Connecticut Hill before I decided to?
I knew a little bit about it. I've hunted in the area. I'd say I lost track of time, but maybe that was just because I was sitting for so long. I don't know if I actually lost track of time or just sitting there, waiting for something to happen. And
Yeah.
there's been times I've been in the area where I've sat for 5-6 hours and didn't realize it's lunchtime, but I don't know if that's just because I was sitting or because of something else,
Fair enough.
Do I hear a JK'z rewatchable hour road trip?
I know. See,
Are you touching the grave?
I think I would.
Are you touching the grave, Jeff?
I don't know.
Come on.
Jen,
No.
will you touch it?
I'm not even going.
She's not even going.
We need a driver.
We need a driver.
You better call Uber.
She would leave us there.
No, I mean, I think every story that we're going to share we ever heard is exactly alike, like George had said. I find it interesting because one, it's close, and two, part of me always believes in stuff like that. I can't think of the word I want to use, but maybe it is true. You touch that grave and something happened.
Yeah.
That's fate.
Is that area is part of Montour Falls considered in that area? only reason I ask is because of the Bigfoot thing.
Oh, I guess Skylar. So I guess
Yeah,
that would be Hector. I'm not sure about
I don't
Montour.
know if
I'd
it
have to
goes
look at
down
the
that far.
map.
I know if you go through Montour Falls and then you keep going on 14, there's a
Hmm.
parking area that has images of Bigfoot in it. I don't know if that's something related that people saw him down there as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I've
not
never,
sure.
yeah, I've never stopped and really gone in. I've gone by it thousands of times probably, but never really, never really
So,
stopped and didn't have a reason to stop in the parking area and whatnot.
so I was
Right.
kind of hoping that you took a picture. I was kind of expecting and hoping for there was like an image of the lady or whatever, or some sort of a aura, but you
Yeah.
know, great
Yeah, I
story.
don't have an image. I do have what people have done with the grave. I could send them to you, Jeff, if you wanted to add them later, or edit it in. Um, it's weird that some of what I was watching, I watched like a YouTube video and such too, that there wasn't like a headstone at first. And then I think in 2013, maybe there's like a brand new headstone out of like nowhere. And then it didn't take long for somebody to smash that to pieces. So,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
before, because I forgot to hit the timer. So before we go to commercial break, George, if we do a road trip, a JK, could we do it like summer? Because I don't want to freeze.
Well, we could, that they have this new invention. It's really catching on, Jeff. It's called a fucking coat.
A fucking cup. I'm gonna look that up. Go to
It's
commercial.
really it's catching on.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
we could do it in the summertime, Jeff. Wouldn't want you to get your tootsies cold.
I know I'm fragile, but no. If we do it, let's all get like phones and capture every moment.
Yes. I will say though, Jeff, that might be a good idea to do when it's warm because of the cold you feel
Yeah.
of,
Yeah,
like the area.
you'll want
Yeah,
it to
so
be warm out so that way you'll know that it's
Thanks for saving me, Jackie.
absolutely colder.
Thank you for
No, we're
saving.
going to the field trip is to the cemetery because we're not going to
uh,
do all of Connecticut Hill region, are we? I mean, you did
no.
hear her. It's almost 12,000 acres.
And with my memory loss in that portal, fucking poor old Jeff would be somewhere sitting by a pine tree going, "Hey, was I here yesterday or where was I?"
Are you sure you don't want to go to see him for the last time, Jennifer?
Nope.
I will be sending everybody's demo for like shovels and stuff too. So
Okay.
George, take commercial.
All right. Since our timekeeper hasn't set a timer, but I'm pretty sure we're close to a half an hour. I know we started a little bit before 7 and it's almost 7:30. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll hear the other two stories of haunted locations in America. Welcome back to JK'z Rewatchable Hour. I'm your host, George Muzzy. We've been talking about paranormal events and haunted places in America. I'm gonna go next. I researched the Amityville house, which is in Long Island. Amityville house is a Dutch colonial home in Amityville, New York, which is on Long Island. Now, the story behind it starts November 13th, 1974. Ronald, I'm thinking his name is Defoe.
Yes.
Ronald Defoe Jr. at 1 a.m. at 1 o'clock in the morning. No, not 1 o'clock, 3:15. At 3:15 a.m. on November 13th, 1974, he murdered his parents and his 4 siblings in the house by shooting them while they were sleeping. Defoe was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder in December of 1975. He claimed, one of his claims was that it was the mob had done it. And then another claim that he heard voices on the night of the murders. The jury didn't believe this, and they convicted him on all 6 counts of second-degree murder, which is not, obviously it wasn't premeditated. It was just something he decided to do that night. So about 13 months after the murders, George and Kathy Lutz moved into the house with their 3 children. They stayed for only 28 days in the house before leaving the house. They claimed to experience paranormal activity during their stay. They reported icy cold spots, swarms of flies in the middle of winter. Many areas of the house, they said, had foul odors. They claimed there was a hidden red room. They didn't say much about that. It just said that they claimed that there was a hidden red room, but I don't know if they never went back into the house. Not even when investigators wanted to go back in, they wouldn't go back in, and no one else could find the hidden red room. But members of the family claimed that the father, George, would levitate above his bed at 3:15 a.m. every night, the exact time of the murders, that the murders had taken place. Their daughter reported seeing a pig-like creature with glowing eyes named Jody. I don't know how she came up with the name Jody, or, and like if she talked to she didn't elaborate on it, just that she constantly saw this pig-like creature with glowing eyes. They fled the house in late January 1976, leaving everything that they owned, except for what they could carry in one time leaving the house. Everything else they left. A lot of skeptics believe that their story was a hoax, but I don't see why they would try to get out of living in a house they just bought. A 1977 book and subsequent movie franchise popularized the story. I know they did one. I don't remember what year. Didn't see what year. But they did a movie about it in the late 70s, and then they did a remake recently with Ryan Reynolds. Did it 2007, I think, with Ryan Reynolds. Since they moved out, the address was changed from 112 Ocean Avenue to 108 Ocean Avenue, and physical changes were made to the outside of the house to deter tourists, to make them not want to go check out the house. The house has been sold multiple times, including the last time it was purchased for well under market value. Market value was over $600,000. It sold for like $235,000 in 2017. And the current resident has stated that that they haven't seen any images, they haven't experienced anything that the Lutz family had seen, and it is not open for tours. You cannot go visit. They don't allow visitors. They don't allow any investigating or whatnot because they've never experienced anything. But in my opinion, if you're selling a house for well under, I mean, we're talking a third of the market value, there has to be a reason. Is it paranormal activity or is it just because of the murders?
Right.
One or the other has got to be the reason why you've sold it. Like I said, for a third of what it's worth. The house is worth $650,000, and they sold it for like 235. So I don't know. I know I watched the movie, but it's been I don't remember watching the Ryan Reynolds one, but I think I did. But I've only watched it the one time.
I watched the
And-
original.
Yeah, I did watch the original. I do remember the original, but they went into it more. Like they had paranormal, I don't know what you call them. I don't want to say
Well,
ghost. Is it ghost hunters? I guess ghost hunters.
investigators.
Yeah,
Investigators.
yeah. Paranormal investigators have gone in, and in the movie, at least, I don't know if they actually did in real life. It didn't show anything of where anybody went in.
So I know Ed and Lorraine Warren went there, and they
Yeah.
are the big ones that, kind of made it more known.
Right.
Did they write their own book? I can't remember,
I
but
don't know if they were the ones who wrote the book or not.
I
I
don't
know.
think, yeah.
Yeah, I do know that someone wrote a book. It hit. I know it was in the news. I don't remember it in the news myself. I was, all of us were too young, but
Mhm.
but I do know that it was a big story. I mean, just about everybody's heard of the Amityville horror,
Yep.
Mhm.
mostly because of the movie, but it is based on what
True
they
story.
experienced in the 4 weeks that they stayed there.
Yeah.
Only thing I remember from the movie was one. It was obviously perfect. I mean, looking back, the only thing I remember from the movie. Has anybody seen it? I mean, I'm sure. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the staircase where the blood
Mhm.
started down the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing I remember because I was young when I watched it. But
Yeah, that's not mentioned it's mentioned, because of the movie, but it's never not mentioned in anything they experienced.
I remember from the movie the flies, the priest coming
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
going up the stairs, and the priest getting freaked out and saying, "I'm out of here." And
Yeah. I remember all of that. I don't remember. And I remember isn't that they made the replica house in that
So-
movie? I think. Because they thought maybe she was haunted. Maybe the mother was haunted, not the house.
Mm.
Because the newer residents hadn't experienced anything. I think that's what I'm thinking of, but I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen the movie. I mean,
yeah.
I've got a tidbit. So my brother, when he first became a corrections officer, you have to be, you pretty much take whatever job wherever you can get at first, and then you work your way back to wherever you want to. So
right.
he was I don't know how to say stationed, but he was where he first was at the same place that Defoe was. So
Oh,
he was at that same prison for a little while.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where he was sent. I
I
didn't look
can't
up
remember if it was
where he went.
Green. Is it
Might be.
Green
Yeah,
State or something?
I know usually when they get a prison, especially a long prison sentence, that's not close to home.
Yeah.
It's in another part of the state. I know that's why they moved that one guy, that the two guys that escaped from the other prison, they moved them to 5 Points, which is just
Mm-hmm.
down the road from us.
Mm-hmm. Clinton, wasn't it? They were
Yeah, I
at?
think Clinton is where they were.
Mhm.
And then the one that survived, they moved to 5 Points.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a new state of the art. I mean, that's completely state of the art. There's no way, I can't say no way, but there's a limited chance of anybody getting out of there.
Absolutely.
Well, they have all the new technology in that one, so
Just before we go to Jen, I'm glad that we did this because I don't we didn't tell each other what we were doing. I mean, I know obviously I told Jen what I was doing.
well, we told each other what story, but we didn't tell any of the details. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to take any more time away from Jen, but I just think it's really cool to listen to all this stuff. It's intriguing. Yeah. Road trip. Okay, back to you, George.
I don't know if I want to go road trip to Long Island. I mean, I don't. I can honestly say I've never been on Long Island and never planned to be on Long Island. So
Gotcha.
it's one, I don't know. It's a big island off New York. I mean, who really wants to go? I mean, if it was an island off of, a tropical place or something, okay, let's go. It's an island off of New York City. I mean, do I really want to drive through New York City to get to a Long Island? No.
It's no fun driving to New York City, but
So, all right. That's all I have on that one. So Jennifer, if you want to tell us about yours.
Okay, I picked the Salem witch trials. I have what caused it and how it ended. The Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts between February 1692 and May 1693. More than 200 people were accused. 30 people were found guilty, 19 of whom were executed by hanging. Proctor's Ledge, a rocky outcropping at the base of Gallows Hill in Salem, was the site where the 19 victims were hanged. The trials were caused by a combination of factors, including political instability, social and economic, and trauma from a nearby war, which created a climate of fear and suspicion. This environment, along with a deep-seated belief in witchcraft, allowed the initial accusations by a group of young girls to escalate into a full-blown hysteria that led to the trials and executions. The Salem witch trials ended due to a combination of factors, primarily Governor William Phipps's decision in October of 1692 to disband the special court due to growing unease and his wife's own accusation. A new court was formed in 1693 that would not allow spectral evidence, which had been key to many convictions, and Phipps eventually pardoned all these still imprisoned on witchcraft charges. Growing criticism from ministers and community members also contributed to the end of the trials. And then in 1711, colonial authorities pardoned some of the accused and compensated their families. But it was only in July of 2022 that Elizabeth Johnson Jr., the last convicted Salem witch, whose name had yet to be cleared, was officially exonerated. Well, that's what I got.
What was her name again? The last one.
It is Elizabeth Johnson Jr.
So a girl was named Junior? I didn't know that was.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
That's what I read.
Hey, you had said Proctor. Is that what said Proctor? What Proctor's? I couldn't write down fast enough.
Proctor's Ledge.
Thank you.
At the base of Gallows Hill.
Okay.
I will have to say that my trip to Salem, that was pretty cool. I was
Yeah, I've heard they do a pretty good, like,
the whole month of
especially around,
October. Yeah, that's
especially
pretty
around
fun.
this time of the year. I've heard they do
Hmm.
it pretty good. Um, now, did any of it say what they were actually accused of? Like what
Good question,
acts
George.
they did, or
Probably if I could look at my phone, but I can't. I didn't write all that down.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
the ages, the age range too, like young girls too, I guess,
yeah,
were accused.
yeah. Um, I
You
don't know
said
if it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was Salem, but I did know that there was a witch hunt somewhere else. Early in early history where like simple things like if because people didn't swim and do things like that, but if
Yep.
they'd be thrown in the water, and if they swam and lived, then they were a witch. If they drowned,
Mhm.
well, oh no, we made a mistake. um but I don't know if that was Salem or if that was another. Obviously there's been witch hunts all over the world over the
Mhm.
years, where it's all just weird things that just happen to happen, or maybe they were witches. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
I've heard of the Salem witch trials. Jen, when you researched, was any of them like tied to a stake and set on fire? Because that's what I was thinking happened to him. I don't know if
They're
he.
like hanging, and then
Yeah,
they
I
were.
think, I
I
think,
think they
yeah,
were buried in like a deep grave.
yeah, I think Salem was hanging. I want to say it was England where they burned them at the stake. I want to say it was England. Was Joan of Arc accused of being a witch?
I
I
think
think.
And they burned her
Possible.
at the stake. And because I know she's one of the most famous ones that was burned at the stake. But I don't remember if she was accused of being a witch or not. I don't remember the story enough. But
I'm
I
looking.
know I believe it was Europe where they burned them at the stake, and in Salem they hung them, and somewhere else was where they did throw them in the water. If they
Mhm.
if they survive, they're a witch. If they die, they're, oh no, we made a mistake. Oops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, oops on us.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It doesn't prove anything that she was a witch, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why she was burned at the stake if that wasn't it. I just know that back then that was a way. I
yeah.
guess Europeans killed people, executed people. Kind of a crappy way to die, I would think.
That don't happen nowadays. No, just kidding.
Kind of,
Um,
kind of crappy way to die. I mean,
yeah,
I've had my share of burns, including when I was in that house fire. And I'll tell you what, I can't imagine my whole body burning. I mean, I had burns on my hands and my wrist, and I can't imagine my whole body burning before I pass out. Hopefully I pass out from smoke inhalation,
Yeah.
eventually.
that would be the only thing that I would hope for is like instant death of all the inhalations, just so I wouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Who who I was trying to write down who exonerated him or cleared him out of charges. What was the name?
The
I suck at penmanship.
Would it be
governor,
the governor? Yeah, whoever I would imagine it would be the governor.
William Phipps. Phip. PHIP.
Gladys Knight in the no, nobody got that. No.
In the Phipps. Yep.
The Pips. Yeah.
Um, pretty weird. Um, hmm. So Jackie talked about a potential witch. Jen talked about a potential witch.
Yeah.
We got to take a road trip, people.
Yeah.
I'd go
Well,
with Lauren.
Connecticut Hill seems to be the most logical because we don't have to go that far. I-
Right around the
Salem, Massachusetts. I mean, that's a 5 or 6 hour drive, but
yeah.
I know it's not really that far, really. Because I had a friend that I went to school with that used to live in Boston, and she would come home every once in a while. She's passed away now, but she used to drive. I'll tell you who it was later when we're not on camera. I don't want to. But yeah, and I think it's been 3 years ago. But she had health issues. But yeah, so it's not that far. But five
I
hours
think
is 5 hours is still a pretty big road trip to go check out witches.
but
More
no,
to do.
what's that, John?
I'm sure there's more to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
sure.
But I think
Oh, I know. Another place, wasn't it? Isn't it in New York? Is Sleepy Hollow?
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
That would
Sleepy
that would have been
Hollow.
another one.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the headless horseman, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think when weather gets warm, we should just obviously it kind of has to be dusk because my eyesight sucks, and you don't want me holding the flashlight leading us through a friggin' wherever. But no, I say we do it. Why
We'll,
not?
we'll bring the new flashlight that I just bought. I had a
Okay.
rechargeable flashlight that I use when I go out at night, and it's the lights are dying on it. So I bought a new one today.
I'm gonna wear my headband spotlight, with the three little lights, so that way,
You'll fucking lose it.
pretty
You'll
much.
fall down. You'll fall down. You'll touch the grave. You'll fall down.
Jen will step over. See, I told you, dumbass, don't touch it.
I won't be there.
You hold what do you call it? That you get after I die.
Yeah, she'll be looking at the will and be like, okay, what do I get when Jeff does not come home?
And so our viewers will know that Jen and George are wearing the exact same shirt, which is really weird because whatever. So Jen will be like, "Hey, is he really dead?" Because I got a sign on this line right now. So George, what's the time frame?
But yeah, yeah, Connecticut Hill, that's not too far away. I'm sure we could,
We should.
work out something, scare the crap out of Jeff, and it might be fun.
Can you get food afterwards? Because I'm going to need food apparently.
Maybe
Eric-
Eric,
Eric-
what?
Far away though. Is he like? I don't know.
If we're going to the cemetery, Jackie's the closest.
Okay, so we
She
all just
said it was near Newfield,
okay. Yep.
and
Yeah.
but Newfield's not that far. I mean, heck, we don't even have to go. We don't. Heck, we don't even have to go through Ithaca if we don't want to. We swing down, grab Eric, and we shoot down the other way.
Okay.
We don't even have to go through Ithaca. We don't want to.
There's
But we
food
can
at
go through Ithaca to get Jeff some food. He's gonna
no,
have
there's
to.
food at the Sebring Inn. They have actually pretty decent food.
Hey, there we go. See?
We go. We get scared. We investigate. We go eat. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I'm down for it.
All right.
Okay.
But we're waiting until summer because we don't want Jeff to get cold.
No, Jackie brought up a good point. It has to be warm. That way, because if we go when it's cold, everybody's like, yeah, I felt a cold chill.
Well, of course you did, because the freaking north wind hit us, and
But I'm gonna look into one of those fucking coats that you told me about. I got to see how much they are. I might buy
they
one.
even have these ones that you put a battery pack in, and you touch a button, and it heats the coat.
I actually want one, but because I'm
I
very
have
jealous.
one, but I don't. Honestly, my son loves his, but mine. I think it just maintains the heat I've already,
Oh, gotcha,
had.
gotcha.
It definitely didn't help when I was out at 0 degrees trying to sit there and wait for an animal to walk by. And I'm like, nobody's fucking walking. I'm not even walking. Maybe I should be walking back to the car.
Having one of those heat jackets, it would remind me of getting into Jen's car because once you hit the heated seats, it's like 3 minutes. You're scalding hot, like so.
I
Yeah,
love
mine-
mine. Yeah, I love mine.
Mine does the same thing. If it's under 40 degrees and I hit auto start, they're already on when I get in the car. If it's 39 degrees, they'll start.
Okay. So
I also have the heated mirrors.
I missed, my mom's car. I was just telling Jen and her parents about it the other day. I so missed that vehicle. You would hit the heated mirrors in like 30 seconds. The mirrors would just be, it was awesome. So we will have to come up with another show for next week. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to tell everybody in person. An individual reached out to me about on domestic violence, and I told her about the podcast and everything that we do, and she wants to come on and do a story. Now,
All right.
her only available time frames are either Monday before 6:30 or on a Sunday mid-morning. I told her, I said, I will check with everybody. It's not going to be like this weekend. I have, I wanted everybody on as much as we possibly could, and to see if anybody was interested. So, and instead of telling everybody, in the group, I wanted to do it here. So, that's also something I try to put. So,
I don't know about Sunday mid-morning,
Right.
but
Monday.
Monday 6:30 isn't that, that's 15 minutes before we get on.
right, but
Now we are talking 6:30 p.m., right? Because 6:30 a.m. I'm on the road.
If she was like 6:30 before, because you wrote two different things, but I just wanted to see what everybody's availability, because I know Sundays are just the days that I kick back and relax. We both, just like everybody else, we work 6 days, but once I get more information out, I'll let you guys know. So
Right.
but in Jen still, I was talking with Jen before the show. She's still going to put together, because she won the last comedy show. She's going to put another one together, and I'm going to look at her notes so I can finally win, because I think I'm the only one who has not won yet, which is bullshit, cheating fuckers.
So Jennifer, you have extra homework. You have to make up 2 sets of notes. The wrong answers and the right answers. So that way he thinks he's doing good and he's wrong.
Yep.
Wrong.
Hey, but I do have an idea, but I can't say it on camera. So George, after you unless there's really nothing more, I mean, you can go ahead and take the show. But I have an idea. I want to say it on camera.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining in on JK'z Rewatchable Hour. As we looked at paranormal events and different places around the country that were haunted. Join us next time. I'm not sure what we're doing next week. We have no plans. All right.